Welcome. Today's story is rather tragic, but full of lessons which you need to learn. That's why you need to watch the video to the end. It is a story of a brother who lusted after his sister, and its after effect. Please subscribe to our channel if you've not done so. Let's go. King David's family was full of promise, handsome sons, wise daughters, a kingdom at peace. But beneath the surface, a storm was brewing. A story of desire, deception, and silence was about to unfold, and it would shake David's household to its core. This is Amnon, David's firstborn son. He sat alone in his room, restless and distracted. He should have been strong, noble, and responsible, but his heart was filled with something dangerous. He stared outside and saw Tamar, her half-sister, Absalom's full sister, walking in the courtyard. Tamar was his half-sister, beautiful and innocent, and Amnon became obsessed with her, not with love, but selfish desire. Amnon sighed and put his head in his hands. His friend Jonadab entered and asked him, saying,
Amnon, you look terrible. What's wrong?
Amnon, frustrated, replied,
I'm in love with Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister, but I can't have her.
Jonadab replied,
You're the king's son. Just pretend to be sick. Ask your father to send Tamar to you, alone. Then you'll have your chance.
So, instead of helping his friend do what was right, Jonadab gave Amnon advice that led to disaster. Amnon lay in bed, looking pale. A servant spoke to David, saying,
Your son Amnon is sick, my lord. He asks that Tamar come and cook for him.
David innocently granted the request, saying,
Send Tamar to him.
Tamar arrived with flour and oil, gently prepared food in Amnon's room. She served it with kindness, saying,
Here, my brother, I've made your favorite bread. Eat and get well.
Amnon suddenly commanded.
Everyone out. Leave me alone with Tamar.
The servants quietly left, and Tamar looked uneasy and asked him,
What is it, Amnon?
Amnon grabbed her wrist and demanded,
Come lie with me.
but Tamar retorted, saying,
No, don't do this, my brother. Don't shame me. Where would I go with my disgrace? Please, speak to the king. He won't withhold me from you.
But Amnon refused to listen. His selfish desire overpowered his sense of right and wrong, and in that moment, everything changed. He took what he wanted and crushed her spirit, then called his servants to throw Tamar out of her room. Tamar left the room, tore her clothes, ashes on her head, weeping loudly. She left, heartbroken and humiliated. She tore her robe, the sign of a virgin daughter, and cried out in sorrow. Her life would never be the same. Absalom met her outside and asked,
Has Amnon been with you? Be quiet for now, my sister. He is your brother. Come stay in my house.
Tamar entered Absalom's house, broken and silent. She stayed there, in sorrow and silence. But Absalom did not forget. Time passed. King David heard the news. When King David heard what happened, he was furious. But he did nothing. Absalom watched the palace, his jaw tight with rage. And Absalom waited. For 2 whole years he said nothing to Amnon, neither good nor bad. But he never forgot what was done to his sister. Absalom planned a feast and invited all the king's sons, including Amnon. Smiling to David, he said,
My lord, I'm hosting a sheep-shearing feast. Please, let all the princes come.
David asked curiously.
Why should all the princes go?
Absalom then pleaded.
Just let Amnon come. Please.
David hesitated, then agreed and said,
Very well. He may go.
The servant served food. Amnon was laughing. And when Amnon was drunk, Absalom gave the signal to his men.
Strike Amnon down when I give the word. Don't be afraid. I'm the one commanding you.
The servants struck Amnon. Chaos erupted. The king's sons fled on donkeys. Word reached David that all his sons were dead. He tore his clothes in horror. But Jonadab quickly spoke.
My lord, only Amnon is dead. The others are safe.
David sat in mourning. Meanwhile, Absalom fled to another kingdom and stayed there for 3 years. So David wept for Amnon and longed for Absalom, but the family was never the same. Meanwhile, Tamar still tarried in Absalom's house, but this time around, alone, as Absalom had fled to another kingdom. This is a hard story, a story of pain, silence, and justice delayed. It shows what happens when evil is hidden, when justice is ignored, and when families don't speak up. Tamar deserved to be protected. David should have acted, and Amnon should have listened. But instead, he let his selfish desire destroy lives. This story reminds us to protect the vulnerable, to speak up when something is wrong, and to never use power to hurt. Even in the state of brokenness, God sees, and He is close to the brokenhearted. In the palace of Jerusalem, King David mourned the loss of his son Amnon and remained estranged from another, his son Absalom. After Absalom had fled to Geshur for killing Amnon, he stayed there for 3 years. But though David missed Absalom deeply, he wouldn't call him back. Meanwhile, Joab, the commander of David's army, could see how much the king longed for his son, even if he wouldn't say it. To help David find a way to bring Absalom back, Joab came up with a plan. He found a wise woman from the town of Tekoa and gave her a story to tell the king. The woman came in mourning clothes, appearing before David and pleading.
Your Majesty, I had 2 sons. One day they fought in the field, and one killed the other. Now the whole family wants to execute the one who's left. If they do, I'll have no one left, no future or hope.
No one will harm your son. I promise he will be protected.
Why then have you not brought back your own son, Absalom? You are willing to forgive a stranger's son, but your own son is banished.
David looked at her, realizing the truth behind her story, and asked her sternly,
Did Joab put you up to this?
My lord the king has wisdom like an angel of God. Yes, Joab sent me.
David understood Joab's intentions and gave in, and said to Joab,
Fine. Bring back the young man Absalom, but he is not to see my face.
So Absalom returned to Jerusalem, but he was not allowed to see his father, the king. 2 years passed. Absalom waited and waited, but David never sent for him. Feeling ignored and angry, he tried to speak to Joab. He sent for Joab once. No reply. He sent for him again. Still nothing. So Absalom did something bold and devastating. He said to his servants, Go and set Joab's field on fire. The flames rose as the shocked servants ran. Joab rushed to Absalom's house, furious, and queried him, Why did you burn my field? Absalom replied calmly but firmly, saying,
I sent for you twice, but you wouldn't come. If I'm not allowed to see the king, why did you bring me back from Geshur? Either let me see his face or put me to death.
Joab relented and went to David and said to him, Please, let Absalom see you. David agreed. Absalom was brought before the king. Absalom entered the royal chamber and bowed low before David. Then, King David embraced his son and kissed him. After years of silence, father and son were reunited at last. This story reminds us of how hard it can be to forgive, and how pride and silence can build walls even between those who love each other deeply. David longed for his son, but his hurt kept him distant. Absalom, hurt by rejection, acted out in anger. But in the end, A step toward reconciliation brought healing. Sometimes, all it takes is one act of courage, one word of honesty, or one step towards someone we love to begin rebuilding what was broken. Dear esteemed viewers, this is where we draw the curtain on today's story. Thanks for watching. Do have a nice day, and bye for now.